Welcome back to Law and Crime. I'm Stacey Delicat here with Anjanette Levy. We're outside the Fairfax County Courthouse where jury deliberations actually on a brief pause. It is lunch break for the jurors. They're going to have a quick lunch before they get back to deliberations. So far, they've been going since about 9 o'clock this morning. So far, no word of anything yet. So we don't know if they're close or not. We haven't heard anything. They haven't had any questions. We are literally standing by out here. We want to thank everyone for their great questions that have been coming in so far. We're going to get to more of some of those viewer questions in just a minute. But before we do that, I want to go back to some key audio that was played in this trial, arguably one of the most damning audio recordings that was heard during this case. And in that audio, Heard calls out Depp on if he'd really tell the world he's a victim of domestic abuse. This was a recording that was made shortly after Amber filed her restraining order against Johnny Depp.
The last time that it got crazy between us, I really did think I was going to lose my life, and I thought you would do it on accident. And I told you that. I said, oh my God, I thought the first time.
Amber, I lost a finger, man. Come on. I had a mineral can, a jar of mineral spirits thrown in my nose.
You can please tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence, and yes. It's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
It doesn't matter if it's a fair fight. My
exactly, because you're.
All right, some very compelling audio there. Anjanette, just put this in context again for the viewers of when this recording was taken and what was going on here.
So the TRO was filed May 27th of 2016, and this was sometime after that, but before the July 2016 San Francisco hotel room meeting where Amber had asked to meet with Johnny Depp. He was there performing with the Hollywood Vampires. So apparently there was this conversation between them. Johnny Depp recorded it, had her on speakerphone, it sounds like. And so apparently there was this phone conversation, and she's challenging him to tell the world and see if they believe you. So it happened before the San Francisco meeting, after the TRO. So he probably wasn't even supposed to be really talking to her because of the TRO, but apparently she had told Christian Carino, their former, I guess they may still be, agent, former friend, whatever, that she said something about the San Francisco thing, like, I won't call a violation on the TRO if he meets with me. And she apparently wanted to reconcile with him, so it's kind of wild.
Dina Dahl, Law and Crime legal analyst, how do you think this plays with the jury?
That I thought was one of the worst videos for Amber Heard, and there's a reason why Johnny Depp team played that at the very end of his direct, because it was so impactful. You know, there's so much recordings that they both did of each other, and we never hear Amber Heard talk about Johnny Depp hitting her on one of the recordings. We never hear her say, when you hit me, X, or why stop hitting me, or anything like that. So the one time we hear actually anything about hitting, it's usually her talking about hitting him, and then hear her talking about him being a victim. So while it's not dispositive of the case, it certainly helps Johnny Depp, this recording.
Marie, do you agree?
I agree to an extent, but let me play devil's advocate. In that audio, I think when she said, tell the world you're a male DV victim, you, the guy, she should have said, you, the guy who assaulted me with the bottle, and I didn't even tell about it when I went to get the TRO because I was trying to protect you. And he said, listen, I lost the finger. He didn't say, you cut off my finger. I think there were missing pieces in that conversation that would have been a natural progression of the conversation on both sides. And it shows, again, they're both lying, because that would have been the perfect time for him to say, I know you did not just say this after what you did to me. And lost the finger doesn't mean, girl, you chopped my finger with that bottle. Nothing was ever said. So in that sense, I agree with Dina, but I think it could hurt both of them, the missing pieces.
Yeah, listen, that's a good point. I think the jurors are, may very well be hung up on, did Amber Heard cost Johnny Depp the tip of his finger? What was the story with that injury? We heard testimony, obviously, on both sides. Let's move on to a question, actually, that has to do with the recordings, because we've heard so many recordings throughout the trial. And MZG from Twitter asked, was it ever addressed why there were so many recordings of their fights and talks? If you are the one recording and baiting the other person during it, shouldn't that recording be discounted by the jury? I know that I'd have a negative view of the one who did the job recording. Linda, set this in context for us. I mean, first of all, these recordings, were they all legal? Obviously, if they're allowed to be admitted into court, but also, has it ever been addressed why they were recording each other at various times?
Were from Amber Heard. That's the issue, and whether or not she turned them over in discovery or whether or not they were found on her phone, we don't know the answer to that. We just know that she recorded them. And Johnny Depp recorded the last one, and clearly the jury understands that he thought he was being set up because there was a restraining order against him and she promised not to complain in court, but I guess no one really trusted her. So I don't really think that is going to become relevant. What will become relevant is jurors don't necessarily like people that record you. I know that I have never recorded my husband. He has never recorded me. When I get a client who comes in with, here are the tapes, I'm like, oh dear me, because they could be illegal.
Right.
Sometimes
and why are they doing it? What's the motive?
Right. Sometimes it could be great. Sometimes it's perfect. It's wonderful. Other times it's like, just as I said, oh dear me. Now what are we going to do here? Okay. So that really is what happens. But she did make admissions, and if this were a criminal case, the police would be using those admissions against her that she hit Johnny Depp.
Can I add to that just briefly,
Sure.
just to give some more context? Johnny Depp had testified that he had told Amber Heard he was going to record her because she would sometimes deny what she had said. So that's how it started. And apparently also there was something involving the marriage counselor, Dr. Anderson, where this was supposed to help them improve their communication with one another. So some of these were consensual, some were not.
All right. Great input here. I want to thank Marie Pereira, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor, for being with us and for always telling it like it is. Your opinions and have been invaluable as always. So thanks so much for being with us this hour. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, much more live from the courthouse here in Fairfax, along with many more of your questions and some replays of some of the other pivotal moments in this trial. Stay with us.